So this episode was all three of us, but we are using a new platform for season 2, Riverside, as you can see if you're watching. I got the watermark up there, and we're still figuring it out. Basically, Luke's track is gone, so it's just me and Parker. Thankfully, this was our March Madness preview, so it was mostly me and Parker anyway. Luke was less involved than in an average episode, but there might be some weird parts. I had to cut it. I had to basically cut Luke out of the episode strategically. So hopefully that's something I don't have to do ever again. But yeah, that would explain if there's any weird parts in this episode where it seems like there's somebody else there. It's because there is, and it's Luke, but his track is gone completely. So enjoy the episode. Parker is so good at giving March Madness insights. This is All Sports All the Time, episode 4. And guys, I don't know if this bothers you as much as it bothers me. I hate it when people call the ground outside the floor. Like, oh, I'm going to go put that on the floor. I'm like, we're outside. It's the ground, not the...
I'm going to go do my burgers.
Parker's shushing his family as they rudely interrupt the podcast.
Sorry. I don't know. I don't really get mad very easily, or like
that's
irritated.
Good,
but
that's good.
But I would say chewing with your mouth
I think
open.
That's an older sibling trait of us. Is that we're all the oldest sibling, and so it's like we've dealt with a lot. It's hard to like really irritate us.
That's true.
We have bigger siblings, so
that's true. It's lemonade. Lemonade doesn't go bad.
I like how he said that as if that explained it. That drink's from 2 days ago. Yeah, well, it's lemonade though.
It's not milk.
Okay, here we go. Quick game. Top 3 juices. I go apple, grape, orange. Parker, you seem to be shaking your head at one of my rankings.
Yes. It's clearly orange juice number 1.
No.
With the pulp.
No. Orange juice it's okay. But orange juice is a juice that's better than having the actual fruit. But it's not that good.
Number 2, coconut juice. So good. Basically, it's just the water from the coconut water.
Yeah.
And number 3, apple juice.
Mm.
And then pineapple juice.
Okay.
And then cranberry. That's
all right. I'll give you that. That's not bad. I think Parker bringing up coconut juice. It's an interesting question. If you flip that around, like it's normally coconut water, but call it coconut juice. If it was called apple water, orange water, grape water, like apple water does not sound as good as apple juice. It's a good thing we call it apple juice and coconut water. Because if you flip them, it sounds way worse.
That's true.
I don't want any part of your apple water. No, thank you. I'm not buying that. Disgusting.
Give me some of that.
But apple juice, yeah, I'm in.
If this holds true, I feel like orange juice is basically like oranges like that they make juice out of. Grape juice is like making juice out of grapes. Does that mean that lemonade should actually just be lemon juice?
What does the aid at the end mean? Because I just assume aid on the end of something, and I just think of sugar. That's my brain correlates it to.
Well, I'm pretty sweet. Just slap an aid on me. Parker aid.
I would buy that in a heartbeat. We need to make that happen.
Oh, man.
And then it would sponsor the podcast and be like, All Sports All the Time, brought to you by Parker aid. Actually, there's our transition. We're going to talk March Madness this week. It's the March Madness preview episode. We should get to the March Madness coverage.
Yes, March Madness. I love March Madness.
You do?
Yes. It's like I envision that one day when I pass away and move on from this life, and, there's heaven on the other side, hopefully. Right? And in heaven, there's March Madness 24/7. That's how much I love it.
I don't know how how to respond to that. That'd be pretty cool. Um,
Anyway,
yeah. So, so yeah, Parker is our resident March Madness expert. He has been for the last couple of years. He, unlike most people, actually knows about these teams throughout the college season instead of just like the week before. We should probably actually utilize his college basketball knowledge more throughout the season. But here we are. It's too late anyway. We didn't have the podcast before in this past college season. So for those of you listening to this episode, you're going to want to listen to this before the tournament starts on Thursday. That means you've got roughly 2 days to listen to this because you're going to want Parker's insight because it's going to make your bracket better. He legitimately knows what he's talking about. He's finished. Parker, you want to give them your bracketology, bracket filling out credentials over the years as to like why they should believe you and why your brackets are good?
sure. Yeah. So over the years, every single year I have a bracket pool, right, with all my friends in this bracket pool. This year, I think we'll probably do it. It'll probably be a little bit smaller, but we'll still do one. And
How many did you have in it last year?
last year we had 83 people in it. I'm pretty sure it was right around 80 people. And everybody. And the year before that we had like 50. So it's a pretty big bracket pool. And I've been doing it ever since I was like 9 or 10, filled out hundreds of thousands of brackets. Or not hundreds of thousands, hundreds or thousands. It's like
Okay.
right around that 900 to 1,000 number because I fill out.
You'll probably break the mark this year.
Yeah, I probably fill out 100 brackets every year since I've been doing it for like 10 years ish. So I fill out so many brackets, enter a lot of tournaments, and so I follow college basketball throughout the season. Right, I'm not just like only following it this week. See, the most important thing is getting visuals on the teams, watching the teams throughout the season. And I try and watch as many different teams as possible. It's hard if you're only watching like a 1 or 2 game sample, but you can kind of get a feel, right, for the teams that are doing well, the teams that are not doing so well, and the teams that may be stumbling into March Madness. So last year, in our main bracket, the bracket that I entered into the main tournament, I ended up only getting like top 15. And I actually was doing horrible last year, which is unfortunate, but I picked Kansas to go to the championship game. But
I feel like it was the year before that, right?
Yeah,
the year that Baylor won.
Yeah, the year that Baylor won, I think you got 3, Luke. The year before that, I won. And then the year before that, I did pretty well. So, anyway, usually my brackets are pretty good, and they're in, the top 99.8, 99.9 percentile. So, once I pick a team that I like, and the most important thing is picking a winner, especially for these major brackets and major tournaments. And so if you can pick the winner right, you're going to be better than 99% of other people. If you can if you can pick a couple upsets right, you're going to be better than 99.8% of people. And then, it's just a matter of winning your pool at that point and getting the most amount of points possible. So make sure you know your tournament rules. And I'm going to give you some good teams, some upset picks, some overrated teams. And, we're going to be able to go from there.
There you go. Let's start with everybody's favorite, the upset picks. If you could give us 1 or 2 Cinderella stories, the sleepers, the double-digit seeds that could make some noise in the tournament.
Yep. We're going to start with Colgate, okay? This is a team that has been to the tournament the past 2 years, and they played really well in both of those games, their 2 tournament games, but they came up short both times by a couple points both times. This team is experienced. They have, I think, 4 out of their 5 starters are seniors, and they have a lot of talent surrounding that team, a lot of experience, and that coach is really good. One of my, like, somebody that played at Hempfield is on that team, and he's a starter, and we have insider insight that they're going to get over the hump this year. So you heard it here
Oh,
first. I can guarantee you a win on that one. At least one. I'm going to pick them at least one, but depending on matchups, possibly 2
yeah.
games. And they'll be like a 13 or a 14 seed.
Mm-hmm.
So,
ESPN's bracketology currently has them set as a 15 seed
okay,
right
15.
now.
So they're going to basically, they'll be the St. Peter's of this year.
Okay.
If there's I'm pretty sure they'll end up being a 14. If they are a 15, then they're still going to win. But another team that's super interesting that I think is going to get an upset is Charleston. This team,
Ooh, okay.
this team is up and down. Okay, they have a couple bad losses, but they have 30 wins versus Division One opponents, and 31 wins if you count their one game against the D2 opponent. So they only have 3 losses. This team they've beaten some solid teams. They've played some really, really good competition, and they ran through their conference. Nobody really got close. And this Charleston team knows how to win. They know how to be competitive, and they're not going to let the game get out of reach. They'll probably go against it'll probably be like they'll be probably a 12 or 13 seed. So,
Yep. ESPN bracketology currently has them as a 12 seed.
so they'll go against the 5th seed, and this is just a classic 5-12 matchup. Charleston is going
You
to
want to tell the people that rule?
yeah. So
Any records?
every year there's at least one 5-12 upset, but most of the time there's 2. Most of the time there's 2 5-12 upsets. So I try to at least pick 2, if not 3, just because if you feel good about a 12 seed, then just ride them. You know what I mean? And don't just ride them for 1 game; ride them for 2 games, because that's when you can really get points over everybody else. So Charleston is going to be pretty scary, pretty dangerous in the tournament field.
Gotcha.
And
All right. So for Colgate and Charleston, the C teams,
yep,
and Charleston is the Cougars, so double C. And yeah, always pick those 12 seeds. So a 14, 15 seed upset, like a very major Cinderella run candidate, and then your standard 5, 12 seed to look for. I'm rooting for Charleston to get the 12 seed now, just so that we can have that analysis of like, that's your 12 seed. Look for them, the Charleston Cougars. Speaking of those teams potentially knocking off some higher seeds, who are a couple vulnerable giants, teams that are seeded very high that a lot of people will probably pick to make deep runs, and then their bracket will get completely busted when this team loses in the second round.
yep. So St. Mary's is the first one I'm going to say. They actually had the regular season title over Gonzaga this year in the WCC. So they're a really good team, but they've been struggling as of late. They got blown out by Gonzaga in the conference championship. And St. Mary's worries me right now a little bit. A lot of it depends on matchups, but I wouldn't be surprised if they lose. They're probably, what does the line say for St. Mary's? What's their seeding right now?
Yeah, they're currently set at a 6 seed. So
So
a 6-11 set, very plausible.
I wouldn't be surprised if they lose first round. So, I mean, it's going to depend on matchups a little bit. A lot of things, like, I try and take each game as its own game individually. So it'll depend on a lot who St. Mary's is playing, but they are vulnerable against teams that like to get up and down the floor. So if they're playing someone that's super fast paced, then I could see them getting knocked out right away. Now, in terms
Okay.
of a team that is seated pretty high right now, like really, really high, but could easily get knocked out. And this is going to cause some controversy, which is good, is a good thing to cause controversy. Actually, we'll save this team for a different category. So we'll
Oh.
save them for later. But I'll say another team in place of this team.
Okay.
UCLA, they worry me.
Ooh.
They can win the tournament. They can,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm just worried. I Their style of play is so fun, it's so exciting, but I don't know if they can play defense. So
Mm-hmm.
I they just worry
Okay.
me. You need to be able to play defense if you want to win. And same thing with
Yeah.
Baylor.
They did just lose to Arizona.
They just lost to Arizona. Arizona can win too. UCLA and Arizona, those teams are insane. But Baylor is another one. It's like Baylor is so
Mm-hmm.
good on the offensive end this year, and I like Baylor.
Mm-hmm.
They're so good on the offensive end, but on the defensive end, they're like 70th in the country. Like they can't play defense. So yeah, they'll probably win a couple games, but in order to win the whole tournament, you need that Baylor team that won the whole tournament. They were insane on defense. Like they shut Gonzaga down in the championship game, and in order to win the whole thing, you have to be good at defense. And so I just can't see Baylor winning the whole thing either. But um, I don't know. That's kind of like some of the Giants that are vulnerable.
Okay. Yeah, we've got a lot of like past, not like recent past elite teams sitting at like the 3, 4 spots. Gonzaga's a 3 seed, Baylor's a 3 seed. This is all like right now before Selection Sunday. These are projections. But yeah, Baylor projected 3 seed, Gonzaga projected 3 seed, um, Duke projected 4 seed, UConn's a projected 3 seed. So there's a lot of interesting teams at like the 3, 4 seeding area. UCLA currently projected to be a 2 seed. So there's not that you're saying that UCLA would lose in the first round, but yeah, watch
But
them
if
to
they're playing
potentially
Colgate, they
lose
will.
a little earlier on, huh?
If they're playing Colgate,
If UCLA that's the official like 1 game pick. UCLA Colgate, take Colgate.
I don't
That's
think they'll
just
be
the
in. I don't think
locked
they'll be on the
in
same side of the bracket.
thing. Okay. Let's go with some more hometown bias. We've got the Colgate bias as Hempfield people. Just as Pennsylvania people, Penn State will be in the tournament, currently set as a 10 seed. What do you think of? We have a lot of listeners in the Pennsylvania area. How homerish should Pennsylvanians be in picking Penn State, or should we be a little cautious?
Yeah, good question. So Penn State has been on a tear. They've won 7 of their last 8 games. Nobody thought they were going to make the tournament 8 games ago because the odds were not very good. They were on the wrong side of the bubble. Then they caught fire. They really can't. I've been watching every single game for the past 3 days that they've been playing, and just they're knocking down shots left and right. Their style of play is exciting. Their defense has been locked in. They have another quad one win opportunity, one of the biggest quad win one opportunities against Purdue today. If they win that, it wouldn't be surprising if they move up to an 8-9 game in the tournament. If not, they'll stay a 10 seed probably. So we'll say 7-10 or 8-9 is the game that they're going to be playing. And like the way that they're playing right now, how on fire they are, it's going to be hard for a 7 or 8 seed to beat this 9 or 10 seed team, because the way that they're playing, like the reason that they're going to be seeded 9 or 10 is because of all the losses that they have. But a lot of it comes down to how well you're playing in the moment right now, and the team is just playing lights out right now. They've just won the past 3 games have all been quad one wins. Before that, and they've had 5 quad one wins in the past like 7 games. Before that, they had no quad one wins. Like It's ridiculous how well they're playing right now. And quad one wins is just wins against the 70th ranked team or better
Mhm.
Uh,
So not only are they catching fire and winning a lot of games, it's their quality
they're
wins.
quality wins that they haven't been able to do before.
Hmm.
So they're getting quality wins at the right time. They're playing well at the right time. They're on fire really, and they're playing good defense. So yeah, it would, and then they'd probably run into a top seed, top 1 or 2 seed, and it wouldn't be surprising if they won that game. Like the way that they're playing right now, right?
Hmm.
They're playing like one of the best teams in the country right now. We'll see them today against Purdue, see how they can measure up against literally a 1 seed, or
Hmm.
I mean they're 1 or 2.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see today. Today will kind of be a testament, but Penn State's playing lights out, so don't be surprised if they make some noise in the tournament.
Okay. One more Homer team analysis. Currently set at an 11 seed, Utah State, the Aggies. We have a friend of a friend on that team, essentially, I would say. Um, how do you feel about their chances? Should they be picked? They're in a similar spot to Penn State, as a double digit seed, kind of on the fringe of getting to 8 or 9. They're currently set, 11 seed. How do you feel about picking Utah State in this bracket?
They've been playing pretty well. I haven't watched as much Utah State as I have Penn State, so I'm gonna have to do a little bit more research into them to see if they can pull an upset. But
Hmm.
I mean, it'll probably depend on the matchup for that first game. So I don't want to say no, but I don't want to say yes either. It'll just probably be matchup. I don't think that they'll be able to win 2 games.
Hmm.
But a 1 game upset against a team that's only, you know, marginally better than you. Like the margins at this level are crazy slim between a 6 and an 11. There's really not much difference. The betting line will probably be a couple points. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So yeah, it wouldn't be surprising to me if they pulled an upset, but it'll come down to probably matchup versus Utah State.
That's a really good point with the slim margins. People just like general advice for picking your brackets, like those 6-11, 7-10, like it seems like a bigger difference than 8-9, but it's really not. Like be a little bit more aggressive than you normally would be with your 12, 11, 10 seed picking those upsets.
Yep. Yeah, definitely. And also one more thing. One of the starters on Marquette, number 4, Stevie Mitchell,
Okay.
we played against him.
Oh,
So
I remember him.
he knocked us out of districts, and he was insane. And he's not one of their main guys, but he's a starter. And Marquette has
Mhm.
been on a tear recently, too. So I just wanted to shout out Marquette, too.
Okay. Yeah, so that official all sports all the time player shout outs. We've got players to watch, sponsored by Parkerade. We've got Stevie Mitchell of Marquette. We've got Ryan Moffitt of Colgate. We've got Taylor Funk of Utah State.
Yep.
So just those are the players to watch for. I think they're all going to drop, 20 plus points probably for their respective teams. That's definitely going to happen.
They all have in the past.
And it could happen,
Maybe.
especially if they drink some Parkerade before the game. So could easily see it happen. Yeah, that's the crazy thing that they are all not only just in the tournament on these D1 teams, but yeah, they're all succeeding, as they're all very good players on their teams. So root for those teams, root for those people, just because we want you to. So you're welcome. Let's round this out with a positive perspective of which teams are going to be really good in this tournament, the best of the best, your top picks to make a run at winning the whole thing.
So I'll say Houston with a caveat. Marcus Sasser went out with an injury to his groin. If he's able to be back, then they play defense like no other team plays defense. So I mean, you have an automatic leg up. It's like how Bill Belichick and Bill Belichick was insane at defense. They had an automatic leg up on the other team before they even stepped on the field. That's kind of like Houston. They're just
Mm.
they're just crazy good at defense, and you know they're going to force turnovers before you even step on the field or the court. So Houston, caveat Marcus Sasser. Even if without him, they'll still go far though.
Mm-hmm.
And then I know this kind of pains me to say it, but I have to just because I'm not going to hide anything from you guys. But Duke, and I hate Duke. I don't like Duke. Um,
Not
but
many people do.
but Duke has been playing absolutely electric right now, and they're playing their best ball at the best time of year. And I could just I don't I could see Duke going to the finals. Like they've just the way that they've been playing, the size that they have on the interior. They're really good, and they're playing really good right now. So it pains me to say, but Duke
Yeah.
is kind of like I guess you could say a sleeper since what they're on the 4 line right now.
Yep.
So they've just been playing out of their mind. And I just got to shout out one more team too, Kansas. They lost in their tournament final, Big Big 12, but Kansas is just they're so good. They have all the pieces that enable them to go far. So Kansas, another one.
ESPN currently has them set as their top overall seed, despite that loss. So, yeah, they're going to be very good. Definitely going to be a 1 seed. Yeah. What was the team that you mentioned before might cause some controversy,
Oh,
but you waited?
yeah. So I thought we were gonna do like a volatile.
Ooh, go for it. Yeah.
And so my volatile team is Alabama.
Okay.
I don't know if you guys have watched Brandon Miller at all.
A little bit.
That guy is crazy. I was watching him the other day. This was like a couple weeks ago, and he dropped like 30 some points. He like wasn't missing like step backs. Like he's gonna be, and he's like projected top level NBA talent,
Yeah.
and nobody can stop that guy. And
He's not nominated for the Wooden Award, though.
yeah, because there's controversy with him because he handed a gun to like his teammate and his teammate shot somebody or something.
Mm-hmm.
So
Luke's face.
Luke's face. So
That
this
is
is
what
why they're
happened,
volatile.
Yeah, they did like when they announced the or like when they were voting on / announcing the nominees for the Wooden Award. This story was still like a little bit murky, and so that's why he wasn't nominated. Now it's like come out that he was like very very minimally involved, so he probably would have been voted and could have won it, but yeah, the timing of it was not helpful for him. But
Yeah.
he's incredible, and he's going to get drafted. And winning the Wooden Award does not affect his draft stock.
Right. So
So Alabama's volatile.
they're volatile because if the allegations get in the way and they start thinking about that, the press is obviously going to ask everybody about that. And so if it gets in the way, I could see them losing early. But if Brandon Miller plays the way that Brandon Miller has played literally every game, just complete domination, I could see them easily getting all the way to the finals, So they're really volatile. It's just with them, it's like I don't know. You just have to. They're a vet. They've got some veterans, so I feel like they could probably lead them pretty far. But it's a risky team either way.
Are they kind of similar to? I remember the Cade Cunningham Oklahoma State team. It was kind of just like if Cunningham goes off, they're going to win, and if he doesn't, then they won't. Is it kind of like that?
Well, yes, but Alabama has other people besides Brandon Miller. Like Brandon
It's not
Miller,
that.
Brandon Miller drops like 30. Well, I think he's averaging like 20 something. But then they have other guys, and they're getting Quinterly back, which Quinterly is like a really good guard, and he just came back for them. So it's not just Brandon Miller. So like kind of, but like I feel like they only had Cade Cunningham really.
Alabama's better than that Oklahoma State team.
Yes, they're better. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Gotcha. All right. I think that is right on time for us. Yeah, solid half hour of March Madness previews. And if that wasn't enough March Madness talk for you, we will have a video coming out, I believe, at the end of this week, where Parker will be using his birthday gift from a year ago for the first time. Luke and I got him a giant. Is it magnetic? I don't exactly remember.
Oh,
I know you can write on it with marker. Like it's like it's a large like poster that you can hang up that is like dry erase essentially, where you can write on it, wipe it off. It's reusable year over year.
I think it's a sticker.
It's a sticker?
I think so.
I didn't even remember that. So you can just stick that thing on your wall?
I think so.
Oh boy. Oh, this is a sneak preview. So those of you who made it this far in the podcast, you get to see the bracket that will be used in the video. Dude, that thing is so awesome. So yeah, Parker will be filling that out in the video. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be his... Mel Kiper has his NFL draft big board. This is Parker's big bracket. So you're not going to want to miss that video. That's going to be super entertaining. I'm so excited to see it. I don't know which of us is going to end up editing it, but I'm either excited to edit it or excited to see the finished product. Yeah, very exciting. Parker's brackets are always very, very good. So really excited to see what he does. Will I watch the video and then copy his picks? No, because we're going to make sure to put it out after the bracket has started.
But you can't, you're not allowed to copy my picks.
No, I would never copy your picks.
You're also, you have to
to
turn in your bracket before you watch the video.
Yes.
Or you can't change any of your picks because you watched my video.
Yeah.
Just send me a picture of your bracket on.
I was gonna say, yeah, I'll have to do that so that I can be included in the pool.
It'll be smaller this year. We'll probably only do I'll probably do maybe 20, 25 people.
Yeah. More chances to win, but less money. But it's fine. It's harder because last year Parker was able to just he had a stack, probably this thick, of brackets. It was literally just going through the halls left and right, brackets. So it makes sense that there'd be less people in it this year because you can't. So I don't think the high school is going to let you in to do that. So
definitely not.
Yeah, that makes sense. So yeah, I'm so excited for March Madness. It's such a fun time of the year. It's going to be awesome. Just thought of this. When I come home, March Madness games will be being played. We have to watch March Madness games together. So we'll figure that out off the pod. Thank you guys for watching. And subscribe, comment, all those things. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next week.